The Marinade.
There's no O in Marinade. Let's try it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The Marinade.
Marinade.
Bone marinade. The
That's
Marinade.
The Marinade. With Jason Earle.
Sweet darling, I wanna take the pain. When I hear you call, wanna know that you calling my name. I wanna be your evening star. You can be my morning rain. When you're coming close to me, wanna know you feel the same. Love me, darling, till I can't get enough. Got me, you rockin' my brain.
Welcome to The Marinade with Jason Earle, a free-flowing conversation about the creative process with creative people. This is episode 36, and our guest is Shema Shine of Shine and the Shakers. Shema Shine's quick mind and huge heart are apparent within minutes of meeting her and watching her on stage. Her soulful playing and singing has been honed from constant hard work and dedication to her craft. Shine and the Shakers are based here in Central Florida, where I also live and grew up. It's a fact that we discuss in some detail during our talk, and it's a little bit of a window into what my life was like growing up as well. For now, you'll have to come to see them here, but talent and dedication like Shema Shine and the Shakers cannot be confined for long. Shine and I caught up before the band played at the anniversary party for my favorite bar anywhere, Barley and Vine, here in Orlando, Florida. The song you're hearing during this episode is Sweet Darlin by Shine and the Shakers. Everyone, it is my distinct honor to present Shema Shine.
Love me like nobody else, yeah. Oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh, yeah, darling.
I should have brought the mic stands. I did not. I'm sorry. I think we can just hold them though. Cool.
Awesome.
Cheers, Shema.
Cheers.
Do you mind if we cheers? Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for having me.
This is such an honor. As soon as I saw your set at Rockin' Robinson, so I was the MC of Rockin' Robinson on the main stage.
Okay.
And then I was interviewing people throughout the day.
Okay.
And I just kicked myself so hard that I didn't ask you to step into the tent and have an interview, but this is better.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
This
I'm happy
is
to be here.
so cool. Yeah, I mean, the energy that you bring
Yeah.
to your live show.
Well, we had a blast that show. I mean, we really did. We had been working really hard on some new material.
Mm-hmm.
And, we really saw it as an opportunity to say, hey, Orlando, here we are. And this is kind of what we do. And it really just worked out. Everybody seemed to vibe with it. So.
Well, you were the buzz of the previous festival. You played 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, that was my second year.
That was I didn't get to go. It was the same weekend as Gasparilla
Right.
Music Fest, and I never missed that. So
Yeah,
I didn't get to go.
for that one, we had a really good reception for that one because I had been working with River Studios, which is a studio here in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
And they made this really dope music video for us, and some people had heard about it, and I didn't even realize it. That a few folks had heard about it. So, and then I think they mentioned it on the radio, and it was just me. I was like freaking out because I was supposed to have the whole band, and it worked out that one person couldn't make it, and then the place we were playing was like, well, we don't really want a band, we just want one person. So like I was kind of in a catch-22.
Yeah.
Like either I bring this other guy or just play it solo, and I had already been working with him, so I said, well, come on, dude, I think they'll really like it. So we were just hugged into a corner, playing our set, and everybody seemed to vibe to it.
Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, and then this time the Iron Cow is a much bigger venue, obviously. And
yeah.
People were like, I was out kind of like I said, emceeing the main stage, so I was kind of out in the general population. Everybody's going in to the Iron Cow.
Wow.
And like word is spreading of your set. And so I don't know if you realize this, but like there was this mass exodus from the main area. Despite the fact that there's amazing music going on everywhere, but that's the kind of pull that you had that day. That's how on fire the band was.
That's
and how,
so cool.
And
man.
I only got to come in for a few minutes. I got to see like 2 songs.
Yeah.
The way that you engage the crowd. We talked off mic a second ago about that.
Yeah.
Are you conscious of that when you're playing a live show?
You know what? It's not a conscious thing. A lot of musicians are more introverted, right? So when they get on stage, that's their way to finally break out and really, let the beast out or let who they are out,
Right.
And so when I get on stage, I see people out there and I feel their energy, and then it's like a back and forth thing. I can feel when the crowd's really loving it, and I can kind of feel when they're just vibing. So I try to feed off that,
Okay.
So that's, I guess, in a way I think about it, but it's all natural.
So you're not going in visualizing sort of like what it's going to be like necessarily, or are you? Are you visualizing?
No, I totally have an open mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you could be playing like at a country club where you're in the corner and someone's having dinner with their loved one from Oregon. They really like your music and they really like the steak, but they want to talk,
Yeah, folks from Oregon are very reserved anyway.
Yeah,
They're polite, I feel like.
So you got to play that level. And then, when you get to bigger stages, you have to be bigger. You have to you have to give a little bit more. So it was awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's the main stage? You said you emceed over there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just Rockin' Robinson just in general is such an amazing event. And
Yeah.
the people involved, are doing it for the passion of the music and for the community, right? So
absolutely.
In fact, the 2 episodes that I released of the Marinade, I feel like, and people from all over the country have responded that they get that vibe of how it really was a community effort.
Yeah.
And so the main stage it embodied that.
Okay.
So like it felt, the energy was great, but it's cool how and I like a setup like that where you can have a main stage, but that there's something about ducking into a place like the Bull and Bush, and seeing music in that intimate setting. Right. And I feel like venue is such a big thing.
Venues are huge. If only they knew the role that they play in the music scene, because they're the connection. Without them, we have no place to go. Don't leave your artists homeless. Give them a venue.
Right.
And so, I've been so thankful to see some awesome Orlando venues as of late. But I want to touch on what you said about the experiences, the community, people coming together. I saw that. I just saw volunteers, and they were so nice. Every volunteer we met was really sweet.
That's awesome.
By the way, I did pass by the main stage, and you guys, everybody who played was kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some awesome bands there.
Yeah, an incredible lineup. In Philly, our good friend Philly Kennedy curated that lineup for the most part. And Philly and I...
Philly's a man.
He's a man. He's a man. And our musical taste is almost identical.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's so cool.
He doesn't like Run the Jewels, which I don't understand, but other than that, we're pretty much aligned.
That's a line. Right there, Run the Jewels is the line.
Run the Jewels is the line. He's wrong.
Oh, yes. Okay, we won't tell him that.
He's wrong about
yeah.
that, but other than that, we're pretty aligned with our musical taste. Which,
that's
and he
awesome.
loves you, and so that makes sense.
You know what's so funny? Like the first time I met Philly, he was just so nice. I was like, I just grabbed him and hugged him. It was like, oh, I like you, dude.
Yeah.
And he looked back over. He's like, yeah, I like you too. And it was just an instant, like, okay, this
That's
guy
great.
is cool. So
That's awesome.
I've been working with him for a couple years now. Actually, this will be our 4th show that we've worked together.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, we were here for Barley and Vine. We played with the States, some good friends of mine.
Yeah, they are so good.
I love those guys.
Oh, those guys are good.
Yeah, so we played with the States.
We gotta get him on the show.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Brian Glenn is my drum. Well, we used to jam together. He was in the
cool.
band Shining the Shakers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so him, Josh Jacobs is
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah.
I know the whole band.
I love
I'm a
Josh's
fan.
songs. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, Josh's songs like hit you in a real way.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, dang, dude, like that's live.
He played here one night acoustic randomly. It was
Mhm.
like, I don't even know if he admit to. I think he just
Yeah.
happened to have his guitar.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that story because it's romantic.
It sounds
right?
beautiful, you know.
And there were probably, I don't know, 50 people in the bar, which is about capacity here, right? Maybe not quite that many, but it was.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
packed in there, and he
Yeah.
was just him pouring his heart out.
Oh, see, that's Josh.
Yeah.
You know, that's him. You know.
And those are those good bits.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at a bar like this, that is, again, a community bar. We're here for the 5th anniversary of Barley and Vine. It is my cheers. Yeah, it is the place that, I always feel at home here.
Yeah.
I used to cook here on Sundays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just like I feel very much a part of the fabric of this place. So
That is incredible.
this is a
And
pretty big day.
you're from Ocala.
From Ocala, yeah.
And you live here now.
Yeah, so my partner in life, Chris, she was in a band.
Okay.
And they played Jacksonville, and I was living in Jacksonville. I had moved to Jacksonville to work, and then she was playing, and I totally fell for her. And I was like, so when
that's
she
so
came off
cute.
stage, I asked her, people who's listening to this right now, were like, all right, dude, we get it.
You're in love. Oh, that's beautiful.
You've told this story 20 times.
Yeah.
But that's how I ended up in Orlando.
Now, the scene in Ocala, you've seen the difference
Yeah.
from Ocala to Orlando.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you like that are different about Ocala versus Orlando?
I wanted to talk about this because the way I grew up, so I grew up in Ocala, went to Forest, like
Yeah, go
middle class,
Forest.
like how do I explain? The country club almost, like we weren't country club
Yeah.
people, but my friends were, and they were doctors and lawyers and
Right.
stuff. All their dads were and stuff. Now, granted, that's the thing about Ocala, is that even those folks are kind of redneck folks.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah, everybody's country. in
everybody's kind of
Ocala.
country, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of my friends were country, like
Yeah.
legitimate, not doctors, lawyers, but like
Yeah.
country folks.
Yeah, they're farmers. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Mhm.
Construction, lots of
Construction.
construction workers.
Yeah.
And so I lived in that cross between the two,
Yeah.
I always felt like I was totally in love with music, but any creative endeavor that I had, and I feel like only those of us from Ocala can shit on Ocala.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody
Yeah.
else needs to talk bad
No,
about
don't
my
talk.
town.
It's my home. You know.
But I can do it. I grew up there.
Yeah.
I've earned
Well,
the
we have
right.
the inside eye. We've
Right.
seen
Right.
the better and the worst.
Right. And so I do wonder, because for me, it wasn't really until I got out of Ocala that I felt able to express myself creatively without people's eyes judging me.
That is a big, huge thing. It really is, because, it's funny. In a little town, what happens is people relate to each other, and they wanted to feel like home. They wanted to feel comfy, and they wanted to feel familiar. And I think what happens is sometimes we get stuck in like one style, one sound, or one setup, Like I remember when I kind of first started playing on the scene, like everybody was doing acoustic guitars. That was the sound, It was
Yeah.
acoustic, kind of singer-songwriter, maybe ska punk, which
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Sure. There's a lot of that in Ocala.
Yeah. And I love that stuff. But, I was like, wonder what would happen if I did something different.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. So what happens in Ocala, you see one representation of people, but there's like other people that are just waiting for something to pull them out. Like I've met a lot of people who feel the same way we do. They feel like Ocala has one sound, one style, and they really want to get out. But we've made friends, and we've come to understand that Ocala is a specific kind of place, just like Orlando, you know, and it's kind of like the meat versus the bones. You chew up the meat and spit out the bones of it.
That's a really wonderful metaphor.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's intense.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, I go deep sometimes.
No, that's what we do on the show,
Okay,
so
cool,
that's perfect.
cool.
But you just got me thinking a lot, because Orlando for me has been kind of the opposite. Orlando has been, this place where everyone is encouraging my art. Everyone is like, to me there doesn't seem to be, and maybe I'm just like looking at it through rose-colored glasses because I'm in love and all of that. Right?
Okay, you're romantic.
Oh, I am romantic. But I do wonder whether sometimes I look back at my time in Ocala and think, was that just me? Was I just not courageous enough to put myself out there?
See, that's the question that I'm begging of people.
Right.
That's the question I'm begging, because I thought the same thing. I was like, there's no way people are going to like my originals. My originals are not like, I would say like top 40 music. It's not like poppy, or it's not like southern rock even. It's heavily influenced by rock and roll. But I said, screw it, man. Like, I remember the city of Ocala let us play there, and they were so cool, man. They were like, hey, you can have the corner and just play to the city. And just just play to the city for a couple
just down
hours.
On the square?
Yeah. So we did that, and we were playing original stuff, and you could just see people coming up, gathering around. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so Ocala is so multifaceted. It's just, I think it's trying now to put little things out that will bring out the unique and the variety of Ocala.
Yeah.
But, the people are there. There's more of us that are receptive to art, and
that's great.
That would love to hear your voice.
That is so great. Man, that is so great to hear. I love your attitude.
I try.
Because I really do think that, like, now that the more I reflect on it, now I'm thinking it's me. It's not them.
No. I don't think it's you either. I think when you are, what were your experiences in Ocala? Let me ask you that. Like, where did you hang out typically? Who are you around? Do you mind if we get into it?
No, we can get into it, I guess. Yeah. So I'm in different stages of my life, right? So I went to Forest, like I said. I graduated, and I moved down to West Palm Beach to play baseball.
Okay,
and then
that's
I ended
cool.
up through some circumstances, ended up in Gainesville.
Okay.
Going to school, and I was always kind of back and forth between Ocala, the home base, right, and then all these other places. Mm-hmm. And I think for a long time I thought I'd end up back home, right? I'd marry a local. In fact, I was dating a local girl, real serious with her. Her mom had been one of my teachers, like,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like that
like
kind of
small
story.
town for real love.
Right. That
kind
of thing. And she's an incredible person and amazing, but it just didn't work out, as things don't sometimes. So I ended up back in my early 20s, early mid-20s, and I was miserable, but it had nothing to do with the place, really. You know? So where was I hanging out then? The Wing House.
Yeah.
Like, not great places to encourage art and healthy.
They have great wings, though.
They do have great wings.
The wings are great.
They have great wings.
So.
But it was that kind of lifestyle then. And then later, I was back after law school. So I went to law school, graduated, didn't have it, broke up with the aforementioned girlfriend. Didn't know what to do. Moved home, moved in with my buddy, and was working at the courthouse. And I would hang out at Pi because I hated my job.
Oh, yeah.
So every day. So Pi, for those listening, is really kind of like when Pi came on the scene there. And this
was a really big thing.
It was a big thing because it was doing something different, right?
Oh,
and that's the thing about a small town is that's I think where my head gets. I get in my head about creating in Ocala, because it's like if you're doing something new, everybody goes.
Everybody has they have to take a second, because Ocala is so traditional, you know.
Yeah.
I just recently discovered. Again, I beg you guys to go deep with me for a second, but like, when you have a situation where, like I said, you're around a certain group of people, a certain thing, and you get comfortable. You get comfortable in what you're used to.
Yeah.
And so, I think Ocala is learning that, hey, we can have different, like one thing we have now, which is kind of cool, is there's a goth night.
Shut up.
At the wine experience, yeah.
Wow, I love the wine experience.
Yeah.
Talk about a cool little oasis.
But it's under new owners, so it's so different, honey. Yeah.
That place was always like the weirdest. It was
it was
weird.
kind of a different vibe in it.
I loved it for that reason, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, how could I describe?
Goth night.
Yeah, how could I describe? But yeah, they have a goth night, so you have there are little pockets of creativity, little pockets of people branching out and saying, no, we're not going to do the same thing that everybody does.
That's great.
So,
So what is your day-to-day like when I think about, if I'm not mistaken, you teach lessons too, right?
Yeah.
Music lessons? Mm-hmm. Okay. I gotta get down on that. You teach guitar lessons?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to take a guitar lesson from you.
Come on, dude. I'll teach you.
That would be so wonderful.
Start with G chord, work our way to C, then D, get some strumming going.
I got that going. I can do all that.
You can do all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can do all that.
You're set then.
Yeah. I need like some blues training and shit.
Oh,
like,
I got you.
That's kind of where I am.
I got you, dude.
Is that, like, in my head, I've got this like blues soul.
Uh-huh.
I don't look it, but I got this blues soul.
I believe it. I'm a blues is in my bones, baby. Yeah.
But I don't know how to play it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can sing it, but I don't know how to play it.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing. The blues I love for this reason. Like, sometimes you can get so caught in the form of things, right? Because think about music. Music is meant for expression.
Right.
It's meant to take whatever's in here and put it in a package so a bunch of people can feel what you feel in here, right? That's the way I look at it.
Right.
And, it takes all your faculties to do that. It takes your hands to express. It takes your eyes to express, your ears to express. You have the vibration of what's going on in the room. All these things are working your brain. All these things are working together to put out this sound. So sometimes when the music's too complex, I feel like I get caught in the complexity of it, and I forget how to express sometimes because I'm thinking about, keeping my fingers going. But when you get to the blues thing, you can express, you can let go because it's so simple.
Yeah, and I think that's true, especially, like I said, for me as a sort of rudimentary guitar player who writes songs. Like, I feel comfortable with the lyric part of it. I feel comfortable writing poetry and writing songs. I don't feel comfortable writing music because I'm not trained in that way, but I do have it. I got seven or eight chords I can play pretty comfortably, right? So
that's a huge palette.
And if I can do three though, like if I can get I'm learning that I'll have a song that I tried. Sometimes I get too complex, and that I can completely relate to what you just said.
Well, see, I don't think complexity is a bad thing, but you're absolutely right. I think figuring out how to take what you have and utilize that to the most.
Right.
And complexity is gonna. Yeah, that's all.
Working within your own parameters.
Working within your world and within your scope. Sometimes I think what happens to I can only say for myself. What happens to me is you'll become too conscious of what everybody thinks musically. Like, am I complex enough? Am I fast enough? You get caught up in these things when, at the end of the day, you should just be expressing yourself.
It's not about that,
it's not
right?
About that. Yeah.
It's about feeling something and then hopefully other people feeling something with you.
Exactly.
Right?
I think Heavy has 4 chords in it.
Like,
you know what I mean? It's just it's such a simple song.
Oh, man.
We put all the emotions in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your process like day to day? Are you getting up, doing the work in the morning? Are you getting up and teaching and then going to do the work in terms of your own music?
Usually my morning time, I wake up, I'd say about 11, because usually I don't get home until 1 or 2 in the morning. So wake up around 11, and then I start my day by going through my emails, going through the missed calls, and addressing the business portion of things. Make sure everybody's comfy and happy.
Right.
All my contracts are signed.
Right.
And then once I do that, then I'm off to work to teach my kiddos from about 2 to 7 usually.
Okay.
And I'm with them, like I said, for that time period, which my students, I just have to plug my students
Let's
here.
do this. Nice.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. Like, I have students ranging from, I'd say 4 to like 60s and 70s sometimes,
Wow.
you know? And everyone brings something different to the table.
Yeah.
You get to see someone's journey. Like I have one student, she just amazes me when she comes in. You know, I actually multiple students that amaze me, but
Sure.
this one in particular has literally followed the rule book play by play. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
if I say go home and work on this passage, she goes home, she does it, and she comes back, and you see that growth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the payoff right there.
That's the payoff, and it's just like, if ever there was a hater, I don't know if there are. I don't pay attention to haters usually, but
Good for you.
if there's someone that's
Hell
like,
yeah.
why is this person so good? They just followed the rule book.
Did the work.
They just did the work.
Yeah, it's not magic.
No.
Well, it feels like magic though.
It feels like it is.
It
There's
feels
a
like
magic
magic.
to it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's the thing. In fact, I probably say that almost every interview. I feel like where I talk about how when I see somebody like you up on, like, when I saw you at the Iron Cow, that was fucking magic, right? Like that was so incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
But you had done the work to get there,
We did the work.
right?
Well, you know what? Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's like a spectrum. Like you have a certain amount of work that you put in up front, and then you enter through this doorway where it becomes the fun. It becomes the magic. It becomes the play.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So you teach your kids, and then so 2 to 7, that's a pretty significant portion of your day, and then you have gigs a lot, right?
Yeah. So usually, I on Friday I gig. Well, actually, it's been Thursday through Sunday this past week, and
That's
then
great.
I teach Monday through Wednesday.
Okay.
And usually, you know, I leave a little window in Wednesday for me to chill and get ready for my gigs, and then Thursday I have the whole day to go pick up equipment, make sure everybody knows where they're going,
Right.
sure we're all on the same page,
Damn, yeah.
and then I go to the gig.
So what about the writing process? Are you ideas into the phone? Are you
Oh, yeah.
Are you a paper to pencil person or pencil
Yeah.
to paper person? Like, what does it look like for you?
My phone, I love technology. Like some people crap on technology, but technology is such an awesome tool, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be driving up the road and I'll hear like a beat in my head, like, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, and then I'll hear like a bass, I'll be like, oh, that could be a song, and so I grab my phone really quick, I just record it, and then there it is.
Dope.
Yeah.
The driving thing, is that specifically a time when it comes to you?
Driving a lot at night.
Yeah.
Like, because I live in a country place.
Sure.
So, like, the roads are kind of dark and the stars are twinkling. And, you know, it's quiet.
Yeah.
And then there's something inside that's just like, hey, here's the groove.
Uh-huh.
You know? Yeah.
Do you need quiet for those ideas to kind of germinate, or
Not always.
not always? Okay.
Like sometimes if I'm in like a bar or something and it's like a dark, smoky bar and people are chattering, chit-chat, you know, everywhere all around you, and there's clattering of glasses, you know, all that stuff is a buzz, and you're like, oh snap, this can be like a bar song, or this can be, oh look at how that girl's vibing with him over there. So that could be inspiration, you know.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So it's coming all the time for you. And then,
yeah.
But if you're at the bar, are you like, girl is vibing? Are you talking into the phone? Like,
No, I let it play out. I let the night play, because usually what happens is the night becomes a story, and then you put all the little pieces together at the end.
And you don't need to put it in that moment. It'll still be there later.
Not always, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes if I can't get to my voice memo, then
Yeah.
that's when I pull out the little notepad on my phone.
Okay.
And I'll just put like little image words like glitter dress, you know, or drunken angry guy, you know, or something like that, or leather jacket, you know, just whatever. It could be stupid, it could be great, you know.
Do you have a drunken angry guy glitter dress leather jacket song?
Well, I have something similar that is like a Saturday night song. Dun, 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 dun. What? I can't remember the words, but it's something. I can't remember the lyrics now.
Oh.
It's gone. But it was as close as I got to the the leather jacket, glitter dress.
Yeah.
It was the story of it was. The chorus goes, She gives in to him. Yeah. So basically, it's two people that meet, and I see the video in my head. Like everybody's talking and drunk around. Maybe there's someone passed out in the back.
Yeah.
It's just a typical party. And these two people, drunken, they just look at each other and they have this like spark, and that spark is real, and it's a moment for them. So it gets a little raunchy towards the end. Like he takes her to the bathroom, and that becomes a thing.
All right.
And it just talks about how she's for a night giving herself to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that actually happened, though. That happened in Gainesville. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Because I think, and again, so much of art is connecting with people on relating to people, right? So
You
we
have
connect
to.
to those things that we can relate to. The books that we read, we find ourselves in those stories, and we find the people that we know in those stories. The songs that we love.
Yeah.
Even if the songwriter or the performer is coming from a completely different walk of life,
Exactly.
we can connect in some way, right? I think we can, whether we've had that experience or not,
Yeah.
we can all connect to that.
Everyone can. Everyone can connect to. You're gonna connect to something, or either
Yeah.
you're just gonna hate the whole thing. But if you do connect, it's either gonna be the music that you feel, that something about the rhythm and the pulse of it,
Yeah.
or it'll be the actual lyrics that you feel. It even could be like the vibe of the person telling you the song. Who's portraying or living it out in song.
Yeah. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, like I like Arctic Monkeys. I think his name is John. I'm not good with
I don't
names.
know,
We're gonna
yeah.
call him John for
Okay,
now.
John works. Yeah. Yeah.
The lead singer for Arctic Monkeys is so good at impersonating his songs. He becomes the character of the song, and you can see that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a thing to that. Like if maybe it just happens to all of us that we become a part of the song.
Like a character.
You get what I mean? Like
yeah, I do. I think. I mean, so. Yeah, I mean, and I think,
Yeah.
for me at least, and Chris and I talk about this. My partner Chris and I talk about this a lot. Like, I think, I'm always when I watch a film, for example, I always feel like I am the lead. Right?
Oh, okay.
Like I always feel like I am the
Yeah.
main character, and so films move me in a major way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
for
my
sure.
own ego or what, but like I will.
Shout out to Quentin Tarantino. Just want to say that.
I mean, for
Quentin.
sure,
Love
right?
him.
Like, and good. This is a perfect segue because I want to know what you're consuming and what you like to consume in terms
Okay.
of art. But when I watch a film, I cry almost every time I watch a film. Almost every time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I feel like I am in it,
Oh,
right? So
that's so
Chris can
cool.
watch it passively, and she has a film degree, so she can like dissect it.
Yeah.
I can't dissect it because I am Black Panther.
Okay,
Or,
you
know what I mean?
become-
Like,
you become that. Well, yeah, it's similar to that in a way. Actually, it is. It's very similar to that. I guess, like, okay, here I'll kick it to you this way. Like let's say you learn your 3 blues chords, right?
Right.
And like that week you just had a rough week at your job, and you love your girl so much, but maybe you feel a little distant. You know what I mean? And then you go outside and you see 2 people sitting on a patio, and they're looking the same way, and they feel the same as you. Maybe they have distance for other reasons, but all that you package it up, and then when you sing a song with distance and about wanting to reach out and be connected, but you can't.
Right.
Then you use that. You got what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
you are a great songwriter, I'm sure, because you feel so much,
Such a nice thing to say.
You feel things,
Oh my goodness, I'd love to play it. So I'd be so nervous, but I'd love to play one of my songs for you.
I would love to hear it.
Thank you
Yeah.
for all of that. What are you? You're a Tarantino fan, clearly.
Mhm.
What are you consuming now? Music, art, books, like
Okay.
films.
That's actually a
What are
really
you getting down on?
That's a funny question. Usually when I'm not like working on music, I love Quentin Tarantino. I love his work, and I like creepy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like American Horror Story.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that stuff. But I can only take it in small doses because it's like some of that is a lot.
Oh, I freak out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But, like I have such existential dread that like
Yeah.
if I watch something,
it just becomes worse.
yeah, I'm just it's like Black Mirror. I have to watch. You ever watch Black Mirror?
I've heard about it.
Okay, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I can only watch one and then take like a week off and cry about it and then go
and
back.
then you're okay. you gotta recharge after that. Yeah,
So,
I can see that.
American Horror Story. What else?
I like I said, Pulp Fiction. I love the Kill Bills. Like I cover a song from there.
Oh, cool.
Bang Bang.
Oh,
Which is
dope.
one of my favorite
Dope.
ones. Yeah.
So what about music? What are you listening to right now?
Right now, what am I listening? Like I said, Arctic Monkeys. I'm really loving. I always listen to Jack White for some reason. Like he's just always in my loop.
That makes sense. That comes through in your music.
Yeah, I love his style.
I hope you don't mind me saying that.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Modest Mouse, I love. Who knew? I listen to The Internet. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're
Amazing.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris isn't really into. I'm slowly getting her into like kind of hip hop and hip hop influence stuff, and the internet was a gateway.
Oh, it's the perfect gateway hip hop. Yeah. SZA's great. So there's a lot.
Yeah. Don't stop.
Okay. Let's see who else.
Those are all great.
Because I go through whatever my vibe is what I want to listen to.
Oh, okay.
Like sometimes I'll just feel like listening to Bon Iver, Perth, this ambient, lush, emotional song that I can cry to for hours.
And there's something about that whole, pretty much all of his stuff, but there's something about those records where if I'm in a sulking mood, it's perfect.
Yeah.
If I'm in like a indifferent mood,
Yeah,
it's perfect.
you can really put it on any mood. Like if you're just cruising along, 'cause it's so chill. And
Which isn't to say it's devoid of emotion,
No.
right? Like it's certainly not.
No.
But it fits a lot of different moods.
I think in that it's so funny because if you look at the album cover, it's a gorgeous painting. It looks like it could be Monet.
Yeah.
Monet is kind of like he's a French impressionistic painter. If you look at his paintings, they're very fluid. You know what I mean? And the colors are not overt. They're not intense. The mood that he's giving you it's not neutral, but I feel like it leaves you open to experience how you feel through that.
Right,
And I think Bon Iver is the same way. Like he gives you like a blank palette
Yeah.
to kind of you get to paint how you feel on it. I don't know.
I think that makes so much sense.
Right?
100%. And I can connect with so many artists like that. Maisie Starr
Yeah.
kind of does that for me. Or I could probably, if we sat here long enough, think of a bunch of different artists.
Yeah, please name some.
you
I might know
who-
some.
Well, I mean, again, it might take me a minute, but like there are so many of those kinds of artists where, and I love that sort of music. I gravitate toward that sort of music.
Right.
Wilco kind of does that for me.
I like Wilco as well, man.
You know,
They're
Wilco
good.
kind of does that for me. Like, there's not a space where I'm like, nah, I'm not in the mood for some Wilco right now.
No, you can just go for it. Sonic Youth, even. I think is Nels Klein in Sonic Youth?
He
I know.
worked with Sonic Youth. I don't know if
Yeah.
he was actually in the band, but he definitely did work with them.
I saw Nels Klein like do a pedal review, and I was like, "Holy crap, this guy knows sound.
Yeah.
He knows how to like take a signal. He doesn't even. I
Yeah.
don't think he even thinks of guitar in the same way. I think he just thinks of sound. You know,
Uh-huh.
like, and then he thinks of, okay, this pedal does this, so what if I make it do this? And it's just like, dude, how did you think of that?
How's that different from how you approach guitar? Or is
Actually,
it?
that's a really good question. That is a good question. Well, I do think of sound. I sometimes I'll hear a sound that my board isn't ready for yet.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then, so what I'll do is I find a way, just find a little way to get a little bit of it. Maybe I can't get the exact wholeness of the sound, but maybe I can get the ambience of it. You know, so that's how it kind of works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and sound is a texture too. It's like hard rock would be a gritty, thick texture, and then you have smooth textures, which would be a lot of reverb and a lot of delay. You know.
Yeah.
But then some people are creative and they can find a way to make delay sound gritty, or they'll find a way to make reverb sound gritty. I don't know.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That working within those parameters.
Yeah.
I was just talking yesterday with an author, And what a weekend for the Marinade.
Yeah. Have you had some great interviews?
Yes.
Yeah?
Like I've got several in the can right now. So by the time this comes out, folks will have heard those other episodes. But the one that I had yesterday was we just really vibed. And I read his book, and his book is wonderful. His name's C.H. Hooks.
Okay.
And the book is called Alligator Zoo Park Magic.
Ooh, I love the name.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And the artwork's really cool.
Yeah.
And the book is sort of, I think you dig it. It's a lot about like rural Florida. It's a lot about like the mysticism in the swamps. And, you know, the characters that go to the races on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, like that go and race their vans.
Oh, yeah.
You know, souped up vans and shit like that. Like stuff that that kind of was a part of my upbringing. You know, and that you can connect to on such a level. But he and I just had the most wonderful conversation. And I forgot where I was going with that.
You connected on that level.
Yeah.
Well, you were telling me you've had some great interviews recently.
Yeah, but there was something before that is gone now. See, now I'm not like you. I have to write it down.
Oh, do you?
Or it's gone.
Oh, it's gone?
Yeah.
Oh.
This morning I woke up and I had like a really crazy week.
Okay.
And so I really haven't had a moment to just stop and think.
Okay.
I got some sleep last night, finally.
Good.
Yeah.
You need
that.
that.
Exactly. Woke up this morning and I had an idea, right?
Oh, okay.
And it was an idea that I think I don't know if it was going to end up being a song or a story or what, but it was a line that came to me that I just loved.
Right.
I was so tired. And I sat there and I was like, get up, go write it down. Go write it down, dude. And I didn't get it. In fact, I keep a notepad by my bed just in case.
That's smart.
Right?
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Sometimes that happens in those moments, and I was like, just grab it, dude.
It was so close, but so far.
Yeah. Fell asleep, gone.
Yeah. Oh.
No idea what it was.
You know what? And don't give up, because what will happen is sometimes ideas revisit you. Yeah, sometimes ideas will revisit you, and then ideas are like a fountain, you know what I mean?
Right.
That water is always going to flow. So it might not be the same thing, but you'll get something new.
That's beautiful, and that's a perfect place to end it. Shema,
right
thank you so
on.
much.
Hey, Jason.
I cannot wait
Lovely to
for
meet
your set
you, dude.
later. What a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, such an honor. Thank you so much.
All right.
What an honor. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to Shine for coming on the show, for your openness, for sharing your spirit and your music with us. This was such a pleasure. I had so much fun. Y'all, you can find more of Shine and the Shakers at soundcloud.com/Shine and the Shakers. They're also on Instagram and Facebook, just at Shine and the Shakers, over on those two channels. And while you're over there, go ahead and give us a follow as well if you haven't already. We also play a pretty active role on Twitter. So you can find me there and you can interact with me there. Subscribe on your podcast app so you don't miss an episode of The Marinade. We have a lot of really cool conversations on the way. We also have a lot of content over on marinadepodcast.com, including our website exclusive episodes with conversations with the likes of Rod Picott, Casey Anderson, Amy McCarley, Megan Hayes, and a brand new one with Mark Klein Bates coming out later this week. If you really like what we're doing, consider joining our Patreon community. For just a few dollars a month, you can get access to exclusive content, such as the show Jason's Journey, which is just a window into my creative process and the moments that have shaped my creative life. It's a way to dive deeper and interact on a deeper level with the show. We also started this really cool thing that we've been doing recently. It kind of happened organically. A couple of our Patreon patrons, Mark and Lori, have been sharing some of their writing, and we've just kind of like been bouncing ideas off of each other. It's a cool little kind of collective that we've got going on now. So shout out to Mark and Lori for doing the work right now, and the rest of our patrons for all the great stuff that they do as well. Really, really excited about what we got going on over there. So If you can swing it, great. If not, those other things are free and they mean a lot to us. And if nothing else, just tell somebody about the show. If you like what we're doing, spread the word. We're pretty easy to be found on most every podcast app, and we really appreciate every little bit of help. All right, y'all, it's time for the segment of the show called What I'm Getting Down On. It's where I talk about the music, the books, the shows, whatever's inspiring me at the moment. I mentioned Mark Klein Bates earlier. His latest release is called King of the Crows, and it's unlike any new work I've heard recently. It really floored me. The record came out in June, and so you can go ahead and get it now, and I highly recommend it. And as I mentioned, I'll be publishing a conversation with him over on marinadepodcast.com very soon. I just finished watching season 3 of Stranger Things, which I absolutely loved. I think it almost wrapped up a little too neatly for me if I have one criticism, but I'm not real great at critiquing shows that I love. If you listen to the show, you know that I tend to defend everything. I defended Game of Thrones. I don't think there's been nearly as much controversy around Stranger Things, but for good reason. But I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Binged it in just a couple of days, which is not like me, which I think says how much I really enjoyed the show. I haven't really read anything recently since the last time we talked, but I ordered a book by Taylor Brown called Gods of Howell Mountain after several recommendations from people whose opinions I deeply respect. Y'all, we got a lot of great things coming. We got conversations with Matt Burke and Erica Blinn on the way. We've got several incredible guests booked for the fall, and maybe a major announcement coming up by the time the next episode comes out. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from social media. If you're listening to this and you're used to interacting with me on Twitter or Instagram, after I release this episode and promote it for the day, I'm going to kind of step back for a little bit, and then I'll come back online when I'm ready. That could be a week, that could be 2 weeks, that could be 3 weeks. I'm not really sure. I know that I'll make sure that I promote this particular episode to the fullest, and then after I feel like I've gotten it out there and people are sharing it and it's got some momentum, then I'm just going to take a break. So if you want to interact with us, you can always either join our Patreon. I'm going to keep up with that for sure. Or you can email me at marinadepodcast@gmail.com. Those will kind of be the two ways to interact with the show after this episode is released. And of course, the other content will still be coming out. The website exclusive episode with Mark Klein Bates. A couple other things will come out that you can consume, but I just won't be as accessible as I normally am if you're used to, tweeting with me or exchanging messages on Instagram, that kind of thing. Again, Patreon, marinadepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to marinadepodcast.com and send me a message that way too, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible. But I just need a little break. I just need to clear my head. Just need to step away from things for a minute, and make sure that I'm going into this next kind of season of the show and season of my life, which I'm kind of considering this fall and going forward to be kind of a major shift for me in the best way, in the most positive way. But I just kind of need to hit the reset button. I'm sure a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. Thank you all so much for listening. Go out and create something. Cheers, y'all.